What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now I'm going to talk about the new Netflix original film, The Union. Starring Mark Wahlberg, Halle Berry, and first of all, let me get this out of the way. I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. Big fan. I go all the way back with him to Fear, to The Big Hit. These are films that I watched in theaters. So obviously I've been watching Mark Wahlberg for a long time, and I think he's a good actor. He has a good ability to do action. He also has great comedic timing. He's a good comic actor. So anytime a new movie of his comes out, I'm always excited about it. Now, he has been doing the straight-to-streaming thing lately with very mixed results, in my opinion. He did one last year, The Family Affair, that I thought was very middle of the road. So I was kind of afraid that The Union would kind of have the same kind of feel to it, this very middle-of-the-road action comedy. And if I'm being honest, it really did. He plays an everyman who has really never left his small town. His ex-girlfriend, Halle Berry, comes back to town, and she ends up recruiting him to help with a spy mission for her organization called the Union that kind of operates outside of the government, even outside the CIA. All the members of the Union have been compromised, so they need to get an outsider, someone who this organization doesn't have any intel on, to help them get the stolen data and save their organization, ultimately saving their friends. And this is a show that has some funny moments, but there aren't nearly enough of them. It has some good action sequences, but there aren't nearly enough of them. At 2 hours, this should have been firing on a lot more cylinders than it was. When it was action-packed and when it was funny, it worked, but it wasn't often enough. There were too many moments in this film that just kind of meandered on, where not much happened. And that's too bad, because I thought Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg had pretty good chemistry together, and I thought that they played off of each other really well. And Mark Wahlberg did a good job of conveying that everyman energy who is now being thrust into the world of spies. But just not enough of this worked. When it was firing on all cylinders, it worked, but that just wasn't nearly enough. Mike Coulter is in this. Luke Cage, he's in this. He has an interesting role, and he does fine also, but everything about his role was predictable. You see him for a while in the beginning, something happens to him, and immediately you know what happened to him. And when he shows up again later in the film, minor spoiler by the way, when he shows up again later in the film, you know what's going on. There's no surprise here. And I think it was meant to feel like a surprise. It was meant to feel like this big twist, but it was telegraphed 100 miles away. And none of it had the intended effect. Like I said, his character was interesting enough. It just, there was nothing in this, as far as Mike Coulter's character was concerned, that didn't feel right out of the spy playbook, the spy movie playbook. So, I'm really middle of the road on this one. And I'm not sure if I would give it a positive or a negative review. I'm thinking, if I had to, I would go slightly, ever so slightly positive on it. Just because of the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry, and just because there were some moments in this film that really worked for me. But they could have cut 15 to 20 minutes out of this, made a tighter movie out of it, and I would have been happy. So that's my take on The Union. Not great. I'll probably never watch it again, but it was fine. Alright guys, have you seen The Union? If so, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.